Good evening and welcome to Sundown Beam on SSBC, where we dissect to you the issues that matter to you the most. This program comes to you every Tuesday and Thursday. I am your host, Emmanuel Amin. Before we continue, we are also live on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SSBC Official and SSBC TV. In a presidential decree early last month, a change of guard took place in various ministries in the Republic of South Sudan. After swearing in on the 14th of October, a pompous ceremony was held at the ministry's complex in Gumbo Shirikat, Skyline, where the former minister, Honorable Rizik Zakaria Hassan, handed over the reins of the docket to Honorable Dine Jok Chagor, who is now the incumbent Minister of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism. Honorable Minister, you're welcome to SSBC.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Of course, with that brief introduction, you're not new into the political game, so you can give us a brief background about yourself and describe yourself briefly.
Well, thank you so much. As you said, my name is Dina Jok Chagor. I'm a former governor of Jonglei State and also former Minister of Higher Education. Briefly, the start of the peace agreement. And also I come from the South Sudan Opposition Alliance, a coalition of 8 political parties that have been working to make sure that the peace agreement is implemented. So I was part of the implementation and also part of the negotiation and also the implementation. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to contribute in how much as I can.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, as you have mentioned, you said that you are a former governor before that and also a former minister. So this is your first time in the docket of wildlife conservation and tourism. So tell us, how different has it been taking up this role?
Well, it's quite a change, you know, from being a governor and also now Minister of Wildlife and Tourism. So, I mean, you know, we are implementing all the government branches are implementing the policies of the president. And so that's what everybody's doing. And so the difference here is that, you know, we're dealing with how we make sure that we modernize our tourism sector in the country, how to make sure that we protect our wildlife in our country, how to make sure that we, the South Sudanese, understand the potential that come with our wildlife that we have here. So those things is more of advocating, you know, and telling people what we have, what we should do, and what is going on there. So we're very excited to see how future ahead.
Of course. So what are some of the activities that the ministry partakes in that you've told us, and what are some of the most pressing threats to wildlife conservation in the country, and how do you plan to address them?
Right. Well, our wildlife are, you know, is facing a lot of challenge. Number one is poaching. Our people get used to killing animals. Some of them are using for meat, some of them for fun, you know, some of them for business, in some case. So we want to make sure that our people stop doing that. They need to understand that the wildlife we have in South Sudan, not very many countries in the world has the same amount of animal that we have in South Sudan. And that itself can actually contribute to our economy. And so we want to make sure that, you know, people should not kill animal. We also want to make sure that we have to protect, you know, our park. People are encroaching into our parks, you know, building up, and once that happens, you know, we drive the animals away. Number two is also, you know, the movement of pastoralists, you know, whether with cattle or youth in the bush, that also push our animals away, even in some cases to other countries. So if we can stop those things, then we can actually see our tourism sector thriving, where we can have foreigner coming in and see what South Sudan has.
Of course, you've talked about the issue of pastoralists and also other people encroaching into the conservation areas. So are there set boundaries for national parks and the national reserves, game reserves here in South Sudan, or is just without fences and anybody can walk in?
That's true. That's the biggest challenge. You know, the game reserve and our park You know, there has been survey, you know, and there is aerial survey that you can see exactly where the park starts and, you know, where it ends. But the problem here is that, you know, we haven't fenced them where, you know, citizen can see that you cannot cross to that. So, you know, the boundaries between, you know, the protected lands for park and game reserve and public lands, you know, there's no difference, you know, there's no fence in between, you know, no divide in between. These are the things that we're, you know, looking into. How can we do that? Because some are parks that are the biggest park, you know, ever. And so to fence them around, we have to think about how do we make sure that we keep the animal in there, you know? How do we make sure that, you know, animal can have water, where during the rainy seasons they can move to one side, during dry season they can go to one side, so that, you know, it would stop the animal migration, because this migration is always when it's dry season they go to, you know, they go to the wet area. When it's the rainy season they go to dry area. So if you have to build a fence, you have to keep in mind that maybe you don't want to put them in an area that will dry it up, where you would want to open the fence or they will die. So those are things that will have to be looked at with expertise and people who are, you know, who have talent, know-how, who have done this in so many places around the world. So we are determined to do that. Until we do that, this is where we will stop people encroaching into
the parks,
those land and parks and drive the animal away. And also this one now we can actually protect our animal from poachers. You know, because it would be very difficult for them to get in where they can do this. So we have to really do that.
Okay. Just something to touch upon that, because we know there are boundaries that are respected without even fences. For example, the national boundaries, people respect them without fences. Is there a need to sensitize the people, the citizens of the Republic of South Sudan, telling them, even though there's no fence dividing this place and this place, but this place is a no-go zone, is there something that can be put in place so that people can respect the sanctity of wildlife parks?
Yeah, we can implement the peace agreement that can clear that up. No, we have some parts in our country where even the law enforcement cannot go there.
Cannot go.
Even to enforce the law, leave alone to protect the animal and protect the park. Even law enforcement to enforce the law, they can go there. So take it. How are they going to listen to somebody who's telling them not to, you know, do hunting in this land while they don't even want a police officer or a military officer to even come across that area? So all of this, you know, will work better if we can implement the peace agreement, if we can come together as South Sudanese and, you know, renew our law for our country. And then now you don't have to have a fence. And it will be, you know, as it is a crime, you know, to kill animal, you know, and, you know, do poaching and all that is a crime. And then now law enforcement can take its charge, and so we will need to fence it. But as of right now, by the time we complete all of this, we might find our animal, you know, driven away all the way to foreign countries. And so that's why we need to do something right now to make sure that we keep our animals, you know, in our country.
Okay. Now, just of course, you touched on the issue of poaching. There is illegal poaching that is rampant, that is done actually for monetary gain. But then there is how citizens might call it soft poaching, whereby maybe you hunt a gazelle to feed your family. There are areas in South Sudan where it might be difficult for people to be able to get some food. We know indeed it is a form of poaching, but it's not for monetary gain, it's for themselves. Is there a way that the ministry can be able to sensitize the citizens of South Sudan, telling them, you know, this is yours and it's for the country, but it's not for you just for your sustenance, but it's also for the benefit of all the citizens of South Sudan?
You know, we have been doing it. My predecessor actually worked on this, and in our park and game reserve now, if you go there, you will find rangers there in every state. And those people that are actually doing the same thing, which we just have to, you know, give them reinforcement where we can have more officers on site, talking to the community, telling people that, you know, because some people, they will go hunting, and when they go hunting, they're not just killing one. You find them, they're killing like 10 or 20,
Which is
and later on, you find them, they will only take one, home, and they leave the rest just dying out there. It's just for fun, So they need to be told that even killing one without authorization is not okay. Right? Hunting also is part of life, right? But it has to be regulated. It cannot be just you go in the wild and kill all the wild animals, as much as you want. That's a crime. It shouldn't happen. But of course, we're doing that now, but we need to do more.
And also, just in terms of conservation, we know that South Sudan is facing an unprecedented cases of illegal logging and charcoal burning in some of our forests, in some of our bushes, which is detrimental to the ecosystem. And what steps are being put in place to deal with such?
It's actually the same thing we were talking about, that sometimes you don't need government to tell you how to be a citizen, right? Sometimes you don't need government to regulate your entire life and what you can do for your country, right? It comes within you, knowing that this is the only country you have, this is the only country that your children and your grandchildren will always have. So there are things that our citizens can do by themselves without the government telling them to do that, right? So burning down our forests, right? What do they do? Some people not just only doing logging, cut down trees, they burn them for charcoals, but not only burning what they take, they'll burn down the entire forest. Something that they don't want, So that itself, we need to talk to ourselves and, let our people be knowledgeable about, what our country can do for us, right? And all the potential that are in there, right? So that we can know that our forests, these are also potential for us. These are also wealth. These are also, building materials and all this kind of thing. So we can even use it to import that to other countries, These things, it need awareness, but most importantly, it need citizen to know that nobody outside that will come and tell you how to love your country and what you can do for your country. You can do that as a citizen.
All right, just to tie up with that, in some countries where logging takes place in massive scale and burning for charcoal, they provide provisions of, if you cut one, you plant 10. So can the ministry be able to put in such a practice whereby, even though the people are cutting the logs, but to make sure that the replantation, so that 10 years later, the forest is still back? Can a policy like that be implemented?
It can be done. It is not there now, and part of it is that we might need to open up areas where we can, bring fertilizer, where we can plant seeds, and then now we send them into our counties and states that people can plant trees. We will have to think about that. We'll have to do that. But with financial constraints, there are good initiatives that don't take up because of the current situation that we are in as a country. But those are the things that have to be looked at. Those things that have to be done. Are we doing them now? No, we're not doing them. But should we do it? Yes.
All right. I'm glad that you mentioned the issue of the finances, because my next question was going to be how much in your budget, we know that the fiscal year has already started, but how much in the budget is actually allocated on the ground for conservation projects?
Well, actually, as of right now, the budget that is allocated is not adequate, for conservation in South Sudan. Because if you look at, we have a lot of game reserve, a lot of parks, and our parks are the biggest. Take Badinglo, for example. If you're driving, it'll take you, hours and hours. If you're flying a vast land, thousands of acres, across. So it actually need bigger funding that have to be put into it. Given the fact that we are just starting it from zero, right? And that's because we just gained our independence. We're now 14 years old, so we're just starting up. So then we need to put a good amount of money that can actually you know, make sure that our game reserve, our parks, and all that is arranged. But, you know, can we blame anybody because of the financial situation we're in?
Yeah.
We have to rescue the country financially. After that, then now we can bring these policies in that can actually, you know, bring to life all of these initiatives,
Yeah.
right? And so we're very hopeful that, you know, both the parliament, the cabinets will look at this critically, that this is the beauty of South Sudan, this is the wealth of South Sudan, and this is, you know, what we must do, and we should do it.
All right. Thank you very much for that response. You have talked well about the wildlife conservation. Now let us dive into tourism. A lot of countries have maybe special animals that are just, you know, endemic in their, or native species in their country. In South Sudan, we also have something called the Great Migration, which is the second actually in the world, which is very nice. Are there unique aspects of South Sudan that can be able to draw tourism into the country?
Well, you know, this is something that we are all very excited about. That some people, I always encourage people, like, why don't you go outside and see South Sudan in a different lens? Because what we see in our cities, in our town, we see South Sudan in the lens of tribal divide, right? If our tribe is not saying this, our tribe is not doing that. Well, when you look at South Sudan, the wildlife of South Sudan, when you look at the land of South Sudan, if you look at how beauty our country is, it actually sends you a signal to your heart that, you know what, we're arguing on a small thing, but the goodness of South Sudan, the goodness of South Sudan is still there, not seen by many. And so we need to take advantage of it. If you look at our wildlife, it draws tourism from all over the globe to see the animal migration that we have. Even to just have a flight over. If you fly over our park and seeing the animal, you know, on the ground, it's something that everybody wants to see that. So what do we need to do to bring our tourism sector to life? Number one, let's make sure that we prioritize peace in our country. Because tourism, when they go to any country, they want to make sure that they will be safe. They want to make sure that, you know, they can even think about investing in that country. And the first thing they will look at, they want to make sure that there is peace in the country. Let's make sure that we prioritize peace. When there's peace is peaceful, we make sure that we advertise our park and our game reserve, our animal species that are there, and let's make sure that we put some, you know, infrastructure where people can come in, you know, get in the car, drive in our park and see our animal, see all kind what we have. If we do that, then you might be surprised. We might be even the second in East Africa, or maybe the first in tourism, in drawing tourism into our country. But you need collective responsibility. Not the Minister of Wildlife and Tourism can do it alone. We need all of us to make sure that peace thrives in South Sudan, so that we can coexist together. This way now we can draw foreigners to come into our country and become tourists in our country.
All right. I'm glad that you've talked about peace, because like you said, you're now part of the government, of course the transitional government. You were also part of the negotiations, and now you're implementing the revitalized peace agreement. Every tourist who sees South Sudan would say, okay, I would like to visit. Let's say all that has been put in place and now there's peace, right? How can the government rather plan to improve tourist safety and strengthen tourism infrastructure to assure that future visitors can be able to visit South Sudan still?
Very true. Well, it is very simple. Once there is peace, law enforcement will do their work. Law agencies, you know, security sector will thrive. Citizens themselves will feel protected. Then this is where now foreigner visitor will feel protected as well. But in the absence of peace, all of that is absent. All of that, right? And now with us struggling, trying to keep peace in the country, all of these are lacking, right? And so this is why, you know, we'll tell, you know, this is a collective responsibility. It's not only the people in government or somebody in the village. It's collective responsibility, because the failure of this You know, it hits every family, it hits every individual, whether you're a business person and whatever. Everybody will feel the pain of that. So once peace is there, then even the visitor will know that they can come to South Sudan, they can go to our park, you know, they can become tourists, they can go everywhere, tour our country, and they'll be happy with what they see. But without peace, all of that will not work.
It will not work.
That's right.
Now let's forget about the visitors who are coming from outside. Let's look at us, South Sudanese. Now, for people who are privileged, you could have been around this country. For me, as a journalist, I have been around this country. I've seen this country. But how can we be able to promote local tourism? Because a lot of South Sudanese have never been outside their states, have never been to outside, I mean, besides being in the capital or being in their home state, they don't visit anywhere else. How can local tourism be promoted in South Sudan?
Well, number one, let's make sure we build roads all across this country. Without building road, none of that would ever happen. There is no way that you can, you know, build a country without road by air or through the river. With a landlocked, there's no sea close by us. Building roads should be the priority number one, to make sure that South Sudanese are connected all around this country. When we do that, then you can get in your car, drive to the park with your family and friends, and you can be able to, you know, see the beauty of our country. Right now, many of us would want to do that, would want to visit our parks, would want to visit our game reserve, but can we do it? No. Is that because we don't want to do it? Yes, we want to do it, but there's no way to do it, you know, because everywhere around us is bush. You know, no road, no anywhere.
So the infrastructure is lacking.
Correct. So even now, you know, even the survey, we have to do it by air, you know, whether through NGOs, you know, who are working with us. This is how we are getting this. So once we have road around the country, from cities to small town, to big cities, this is where now you can see our people moving all over the country. You know, you have some people now who are here in central Equatoria. They've never seen any other state.
They've never been elsewhere.
Never seen anywhere. And you find them, they know Nairobi better than know their own country. They know Uganda better than know South Sudan.
Their own country.
And it's not of their fault. There's no way. It's even less. It's cheaper to go to Uganda
outside,
than to go to Wow or to go to you know, any other states. You see that? So this is something that the government have to prioritize and should be prioritized.
All right. Of course, those are the biggest challenges and threats that the tourism sector faces. What do you see is the future of the Ministry of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism over the next 5 years? Just say as a focus on the future. What do you see in the future?
Well, you know, all of these things are interconnected. You know, having a thriving tourism sector, having a thriving conservation in our country, having our animal thrive, it also connects to having peace in the country. You cannot build one and neglect one, right? All of this come together. So, you know, my hope is that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, South Sudan will not be where it is now, which is, you know, it is incumbent upon all of us, because every country you work to make sure that you're in a different position next year and the year after. You know, that's how it is, right? So I'm confident that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, South Sudan, you know, will be different. That we will have roads that we can drive our parks. And I believe that the Minister of Wildlife and Tourism would do just that, you know. And that's part of the policy of our government as a country, that it has to be done, it should be done, and it will be done.
All right. We're almost coming to the end. Just two last questions remaining. What is your final message to the viewers and citizens of South Sudan who are viewing this program right now?
Sure. Well, my viewer to you, the citizen of South Sudan, and those who are watching, is that don't lose hope in our country. Don't be discouraged, you know, by the noise that you hear around you. Just know that South Sudan will be there and will always be there. And it will be there because you contribute to it as well. if you think that, you know, somebody else is the one that will do it, or foreigners are the one that will do it, well, you're just blindfolding yourself. It is all of us. Whether you're in the government, you're not in the government, you can talk to your neighbor, you can talk to your friend, and tell them that let's work together. Let's make sure that we prioritize equality. We all have the same equal citizen right in this country. Nobody is higher than anybody else. Even if somebody say that I'm better than you or I'm better than you, that's not true. That's a lie, right? You might do good financially better than me. It doesn't mean that you have any leverage or nothing.
For sure.
I might be better than you tomorrow, you know. That's the same thing, right? So, but whatever little contribution you add and whatever bigger contribution somebody add, it add together and build this wonderful country.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, being a part of the transitional government of national unity, because now that you're a minister, we know you are a politician, of course. What would be your message to the leaders of South Sudan and your fellow politicians?
Well, my message to my fellow politicians and the leader of South Sudan is that, you know, South Sudan is bigger than all of us, and South Sudan is better than any country, okay? And whatever decision we make in the country, let's make it, keep it in mind that your children, your great-grandchildren will have a country that they can call theirs after when you're not around. And will have a country that they can be proud of. They will have a country that they can be respects, okay? That others, foreigners, will respect. And that's because of what you can do today. Doing that, that's what can make this country proud tomorrow. And when that happens, you know, we can get out of all of this quagmire that have been happening in our country. And leaders are leaders to lead, okay? Not leaders to push. You're leaders to lead. And leading, and you lead in a country. Whether you're in a local county or you're in the states or at the center, you're there to lead. Whether you lead 2 people, 3 people, or 1,000 people,
you're still a leader.
You're still a leader. And once you lead there, somebody lead there, you meet in between, move together, South Sudan can get ahead. But if we just prioritize our own self-interest and own financial gain and whatever, all of this thing, we've seen it. How many years have we been going through this now? There's people that used to be wealthy 2 years ago. They're not wealthy today. Business people who used to have a lot of business, they don't have a lot of business now. So the suffering is hitting a better family, a better house, everybody. So why don't we learn from the lessons? We've learned it. Can we turn the page and say, let's move to the right direction? Of course we can do that. And I believe that there are good people in the country, you know, young people, elderly people, who are yearning for that change, that, you know, the division doesn't bring anything, that unity is the only option for South Sudan.
Unity is the only option indeed.
That's right. That's right.
Honorable Minister,
thank you so much, brother.
For coming.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much
Thanks
for coming
for having
and
me.
telling us a lot about your docket of tourism.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Of course, with me, as you have seen in the studio, is Honorable Dinai Jok Chagor, who is now the incumbent Minister of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism. Just a reminder that tourism is important because it drives economic growth through job creation and revenue, boosts infrastructure development like roads and hospitals, just like the Minister has said, and supports well-being by promoting cultural exchange and preserving local heritage. Wildlife conservation is vital for maintaining ecological balance, preserving biodiversity, and supporting human well-being. And of course, it protects natural resources, which are finite and being depleted, which is ensuring that are not yet, rather being deleted, which is ensuring that they are available for our future generations. Dear viewer of Sundown Beam, I have been your host, Emmanuel Amin. Thank you for staying tuned, and please tune until we meet again.